The Galactic Medical Congress had seen many species present their healing technologies over the centuries. The crystalline Zephyrians could regenerate entire limbs through harmonic resonance. The metallic Corvin possessed nanobotic swarms that could repair cellular damage at the molecular level. The ethereal Vashti manipulated quantum fields to reverse entropy itself within living tissue. Then came the humans. Dr. Sarah Chen stood at the center of the vast amphitheater, her small frame dwarfed by the towering representatives of a dozen alien civilizations. The Corvin delegate, Ambassador Thex 9, had just finished explaining why humanity's application to join the Congress was premature at best, laughable at worst. Their appendages, Thex 9 had declared, his metallic voice reverberating through the chamber, are soft, weak, and primitive. No reinforced exoskeleton, no biometallic enhancement, no quantum manipulation capability. What could such crude instruments possibly offer to the healing arts? Murmurs of agreement rippled through the assembly. The Zephyrian representative chimed in harmonics that translated to dismissive laughter. Even the usually diplomatic Vashti seemed to flicker with amusement. Dr. Chen waited for the mockery to subside. She had expected this. Humanity had faced similar skepticism at every galactic institution they'd attempted to join. Their technology was indeed primitive by cosmic standards, their biology unremarkable, their scientific achievements modest compared to species that had mastered faster-than-light travel millennia, before Earth had even formed. "Distinguished colleagues," she began, her voice steady despite the hostile atmosphere. "I understand your skepticism. Our hands are indeed weak by your standards. But strength isn't always about force or technology." She gestured to a sealed containment unit being wheeled onto the stage. Inside, barely visible through the transparent aluminum, lay something that made several delegates recoil in their seats. "This," Dr. Chen announced, "is a Xerion plague sample, terminal in 72% of known species, incurable by every medical technology in this Congress's archives." The chamber fell silent. The Xerion plague was legendary, an ancient bioweapon that had wiped out entire civilizations before being contained and sealed away in the deepest vaults of the galactic core worlds. The mere presence of a sample here was shocking. 3 days ago, Dr. Chen continued, an archaeological expedition accidentally breached a plague vault on Kepler 442b. 17 beings were infected: Corvin, Zephyrian, Vashti, and others. Your finest medical technologies prolonged their lives but could not save them. They have perhaps 6 hours remaining. A holographic display materialized above the stage, showing the infected beings in medical isolation. Their conditions were indeed grave. The metallic sheen was fading from the Corvin's carapace. The Zephyrian's crystalline structure was clouding, and the Vashti's energy matrix was becoming increasingly unstable. "We have volunteered," Dr. Chen said simply, "to attempt treatment." "Impossible," Thex 9 interjected. "Our nanobotic healing swarms were destroyed by the plague's defensive mechanisms. Zephyrian harmonic therapy only accelerated the degradation. Even Vashti quantum manipulation was ineffective. What could your primitive appendages possibly accomplish?" Instead of answering, Dr. Chen activated her transport beacon. The chamber filled with a soft blue light, and suddenly she was no longer alone on the stage. 17 figures materialized beside her. Doctors, nurses, healers, and volunteers from Earth. The assembled aliens watched with barely concealed disdain as the humans unpacked their equipment. No gleaming technological marvels, no exotic energy devices, just simple medical instruments, strange organic compounds, and devices that seemed almost archaic. "We call it the human touch," Dr. Chen explained as her team prepared. Not the most scientific term, but accurate nonetheless. The humans moved with practiced efficiency to the isolation chambers. Through the transparent barriers, the dying aliens could be seen growing weaker by the minute. The assembled Congress watched as the human medics did something unprecedented. They entered the chambers without protective gear. "Are they insane?" a delegate whispered. "They'll be infected within moments." But the humans had done their research. While the Xerion plague was indeed deadly to most species, it had one curious property. It specifically targeted advanced biological enhancement systems and artificial augmentations. The very technologies that made other species superior were what the plague exploited. Humans, with their unmodified biology and primitive immune systems, were naturally resistant. What happened next would be discussed in medical texts for generations. The human doctors worked not with scanners and energy fields, but with their hands, those same weak, primitive appendages that had been mocked just hours before. They massaged infected tissue, applied pressure to specific points, used acupuncture needles to redirect biological energy flows. More importantly, they administered compounds extracted from Earth's most basic life forms, molds, bacteria, viruses that had evolved alongside humanity for millions of years. Penicillin from common bread mold, immunoglobulin from horse plasma, bacteriophages from sewage water. Barbaric, muttered the Zephyrian delegate, but her harmonic tone carried a note of uncertainty. The human healers worked for hours. They held the hands of the dying, spoke softly to them, offered comfort alongside treatment. They rotated in shifts, ensuring that no patient was ever left alone. When medical instruments failed, they used their bare hands to feel for temperature changes, pulse variations, and muscle tension. Dr. Chen monitored the bio readings while her colleagues worked. The Xerion plague was unlike anything in human medical literature, but that was precisely their advantage. While alien medical systems tried to combat it with sophisticated countermeasures, human medicine worked differently. It supported the body's natural healing processes rather than replacing them. Life signs are stabilizing in the Corvin patient, announced Dr. Maria Santos, her voice barely concealing her amazement. Zephyrian crystal matrix is clearing, added Dr. James Wu from another chamber. One by one, the infected beings began to recover, not through technological miracles, but through the careful application of biological partnerships that had evolved over millennia. The alliance between human healing traditions and the microscopic life forms that shared their world. The Congress chamber was utterly silent as the medical readouts showed impossible results. 17 beings given up for dead by the galaxy's most advanced medical technologies were not just stabilized but actively healing. Ambassador Thex-9's voice cracked as he spoke. How? The plague should have killed them hours ago. Dr. Chen looked up from her monitoring station, her hands, those weak, primitive human hands, still steady despite 18 hours of continuous work. We've never relied on strength alone, she said quietly. Our hands aren't weapons or tools, they're instruments of connection. We heal by working with life, not by overpowering it. Sometimes the gentlest touch is more powerful than the most advanced technology. As dawn broke over the medical station, all 17 patients had made full recoveries. The Xerion plague, unconquerable by the greatest civilizations in the galaxy, had been defeated by bacteria from Earth and the careful touch of human hands. The vote to admit humanity to the Galactic Medical Congress was unanimous. Years later, when asked about that historic day, Dr. Chen would always smile and look down at her hands, unremarkable by galactic standards, but capable of miracles that no technology could replicate. The galaxy had learned an important lesson. Sometimes what appears weakest is actually strongest, and the most primitive tool is often the most sophisticated instrument of all.